Without giving any specific details, how far do you live from here?
I live 45 minutes.
Oh, you're out of town, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Purposefully?
100%.
Why?
I used to live downtown.
Oh, so you went from downtown
I'm talking like 3 blocks off Broadway downtown when I first moved here for a couple of years.
Why'd you live downtown? Because you wanted to do the Nashville
Yeah,
thing?
that's what I thought. Experience it, which I was way too young to even like go do anything. But
How old were you?
I was 19 when I moved to town.
So I had a place downtown. It was like Church and 4th.
Okay.
So it was like 2 blocks off of Broadway. Bought the top. It was when I first started to make money. So I always wanted to live downtown.
Yeah.
Like the dream was like live downtown and like be in it. I was touring so much, like doing stand up. And so we went and looked at this place. Did you live in a condo?
It was, but it was like a high-rise condo. That was the dream.
It wasn't a high rise?
No.
See, mine was like a 6. Mine wasn't a high rise either, but it was like a mid to low rise. But it was like 6 stories.
Yeah, I was on the 3rd floor of like a 4-story
Similar
condo deal. It was nice.
And so I bought it, and I remember going to look for it and look at it, and they were like, "Oh, look how it's great," because it was right over Printer's Alley. Like you look down, Printer's Alley's right there, and I don't even go out. I just thought it'd be like the romantic idea of living near downtown.
Yeah.
And so looked at it, loved it, bought it. Significant for me, a significant purchase for me. And I remember the first time that I was home at night, because I wasn't home on weekends a lot because I would just be on the road. I was like, oh my God, I never toured to look at this place in the evening on a weekend.
The music.
Dude, it was a disaster.
I had a train.
You did?
Right outside my window.
What time would it run?
Oh, just random times. Like middle of the night, early morning. I kind of got used to it after a while. But yeah, I lived downtown and then moved over like off of West End and then moved out of town right before I got married. My wife and I did long distance for like 6 years.
Wow.
So we bought this little house, or we rented this little house, and then we were going to buy a house, or we had no kids yet. And I was like, let's go back downtown. Because she never got to experience that.
Where'd she move from? What state?
Louisiana. We're from the same town. We grew up 10 minutes apart.
Got it. So you did long distance, but did you have some sort of relationship, even just knowing each other from back in the day?
As far as like...
Did you know her before you moved here?
Oh, yeah. We started dating when we was 15.
Okay, so you moved here and she stayed back.
Yes.
So you didn't meet long distance.
No. No. Yeah. We met in 7th grade. Never talked to each other. 8th grade, never talked to each other. Went to 2 separate high schools, and then our sophomore year just...
God, that long distance makes sense.
Yeah.
It wasn't like you met her on the road and you worked it out with a girl in Michigan.
No.
Okay.
No. Yeah, it was kind of the deal. Like, we knew that's what was going to happen. And then...
Did she not want to move downtown?
No, she wanted to. We were looking at places, and then as soon as we were about to like, all right, let's go downtown for like a year or so, let you experience it, she found out she was pregnant with our first, Beckett. And
that's not where you want to live.
We said, we're not doing that. And I'm so glad we didn't. Because, I mean, I was over it, really. I just kind of want to do it for her, let her experience it. But, yeah, it worked out.
Do you have land?
I do now. That was the dream.
Do you take care of your own land, or do you take care of a little bit of your own land and then the rest either just lives and you don't have to take care of it, or somebody else does?
Yeah, so I mean, right now look, we bought this property and I rented an excavator and a dozer and off-road truck and basically developed it with a buddy of mine. Like spent every day for almost a year when I wasn't on the road, pushing trees over and burning and making ponds and house pads and all that stuff. So I mean, I do take care of my property. I remember when we bought our first house, the house we're still in right now, I was so excited to mow my yard. I love doing yard work. And I bought this John Deere zero turn. I was so proud of it, and then never even got to use it because I was gone so much and the grass would get so high. So I had to hire somebody, which made me feel less of a man. But at least my yard guy, he's a buddy of mine now. He came to my show this past weekend and brought his girlfriend, and they hung out on the bus and stuff. But my wife had a garage sale shortly after. Why she had a garage sale, I have no idea. And she's like, do you want to get rid of your lawnmower? I was like, I don't want to, but I probably should because I'm never going to use it again. I mean, got the guy now, and I don't have time. And guy pulls up. He's like, what do you want for the lawnmower? She's like, I don't know, $1,000? He's like, I'll be right back.
What'd you pay for it?
$4,000. It was only like 3 months old.
So she didn't talk to you about what price to put on it?
No.
That's funny.
Yeah.
And a little bit, that's on you. You knew she was doing a garage sale.
Well, it was kind of random. Well, no, I didn't know the lawnmower was going to go. She texted me, hey, would you want to sell your lawnmower? And I just said, yeah, that's fine. We could probably do that. I'm not going to use it. And before we could even get into it, I guess she was right there next to the guy who was gone.
She texted you while he was there?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
We have a few acres behind here that we don't have to keep up with. Like, it's the purpose of it.
Right.
You know. Yeah. Do you have any jobs where you were excavating? Did you learn that on the fly?
Yeah, on the fly. So one of my best friends is from Louisiana, and South Louisiana. Him and his dad own a huge land development company, and he pretty much taught me everything. I mean, I've done some stuff on like a little small skid steer, but we're talking like huge excavator, Traco, big dozer, D6. I mean, it's a big deal. And I was like, all right, I got this. I'm going to help you. He's like, man, it's not that easy. But I picked it up pretty quick. I feel like I could go do some work if I needed to.
Did you have any jobs while you were here that weren't music related?
No, not since I moved to Nashville.
How did you make money? Did you get a publishing deal quick?
Got a publishing deal. Wasn't enough money to really survive, so had to go in and negotiate some stuff to make a little extra more money, but I just had to hit the road.
That sounds like prostitution, whatever that means. Like, wasn't enough, so I negotiated more.
Yeah, basically so. I was like, hey, it's not enough to live on, so can we, we can redo some stuff in the contract that's better for y'all and worse for me if I can get a little more money up front, which bit me in the long run a little bit, but hey.
Helped you get through that time, though,
right? Helped me get through it, and it's part of business, so.
You moved here at 19?
Yeah. Yeah.
You drive up with a bunch of stuff?
I mean, no, not really. I got stuff when I got here. I mean, luckily my parents were awesome, and they didn't have I grew up in just a regular middle class family. My dad went to work every day, and I remember my mom scratching pennies out of the ashtray of the car just to get Sonic cheeseburger on a regular day. But they helped me get some stuff for my apartment, and then it was kind of on me from there. I remember calling my dad though one day, and my dad put me to work when I was 15 years old.
Doing what?
I was cleaning boat carburetors and mowing the grass at a marine place.
I worked at a marina forever, dude.
Yeah.
People think that I didn't have the good job like to meet the girls. I wasn't like the dock boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was.
Yeah, you were.
I was grease boy.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah, I worked at a golf course too, and I wasn't the guy that did the golf carts. I was the one that was weed eating.
You didn't get the cool stuff.
I didn't have a rich dad that was a member at the country club.
Yeah.
And so, as you can tell, I'm still resentful about that. So you work for your dad?
Well, my dad he just he had a buddy at work there and asked him if I could work. I tried to get a job at Walmart, but you had to be 16, I guess, at that time. But went and did that, and I mean, I've been paying for my stuff ever since. So to call my dad and ask him, like, Dad, I'm out of money. Like, I got bills and stuff, that was a big deal for me. And I remember the truck I was driving at the time was an F-150, like a early 2000s model that I went and bought. And I was paying the note on it. But what I didn't know was my granddad, his dad, bought it. And so it was paid for. I didn't know. So every month I was making a payment for my truck. It was just going to a savings account. And so my dad goes, well, I figured this day would come, blah, blah, blah. And he told me about it. It's like, I had several thousands of dollars that helped me get through that as well. So pretty cool.
That's love.
I thought that was one of the coolest things ever, man.
It gave me chills a little bit. Like, that's love.
Yeah.
Years in advance, looking out for a time that he knew you would probably need it, but you were getting what you needed by earning it at the same time.
Like, didn't know, was still paying the note.
Learning responsibility.
Yeah.
Learning how to be disciplined. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
What did they think about you doing music?
So my dad did music.
In what capacity?
Moved to Nashville in his early 20s to pursue a country music singer, whole deal, and slept on people's couches and did the whole thing. And, this is a tough business. My dad, I mean, I've heard old stuff that my dad's recorded and whatnot. My dad was a great singer.
He sound like you? Deep voice?
Not as deep, but just a great singer. Just a real nice, rich voice, and was on pitch, and it was great. I've seen old videos of him performing on stage, and I was like, dang, Dad had it, That was really cool. But ended up playing on the road with older guys like Freddie Fender back in the day. Wasted days and wasted nights. So did that for a while, and man, just gave it all up when he met my mom and moved back home and started doing regular blue-collar work. My mom had 2 kids prior, and they were, 5, 6, 7 years old, and so he had to go to work immediately.
How do you meet your mom?
Just through some friends. So she's from Louisiana as well, same little place, little town over, and just mutual friends put them together on a blind date, and was together ever since.
What's your hometown like?
Now or then?
Now.
Now. It's run down. It's run down pretty good.
How many people? Is there a sign that says pop?
I know there used to be maybe 11,000 in the town, but we had a paper mill, International Paper Company.
We had a sawmill. Paper mill stunk though. We played ball.
Oh, but
anywhere we went to Ashdown and they had a paper mill, dude, we had to hold our nose playing the whole time.
Smelled like home to me though.
Really?
Yeah.
You got used to it?
Oh, 100%.
Did you smell like that to other people when you would go away?
No.
They'd be like, what's wrong?
No.
So you weren't stained by the paper mill smell?
Now, I will say I ended up through the year's summer job working at those paper mills, and you do smell like it when you work there. Yeah, it's awful. But
I just remember going into Ashdown, which had the paper mill, and the outfield wall was against the back of the paper mill. And mostly I played first base. I was left-handed, but if I ever, we played tournaments. If I ever had to play outfield, it was already miserable. You could just smell it when you got to town.
yeah.
But then they couldn't because they lived in it.
Yeah.
And it's a distinct memory.
We lived in it too, and we did smell it, no doubt. And it did stink, don't get me wrong. But it was also that's home, what we grew up with is what it is. But
That's an advantage too.
yeah, mill shut down, and man, everybody kind of moved out. Some people stayed, and the economy went down. I mean, it's still home. I love it.
What's the name of the town?
It's called Bastrop, Louisiana.
Sawmill collapsed in Mountain Pine as well. And that was what gave everybody jobs.
Yeah.
I mean, population 700, that was my hometown. And I would say 80% of it ain't a city, 80% of the town worked at Weyerhaeuser.
Yeah.
And when it went down, everything got bad. School got bad. Everybody left.
Same here.
What's on the property now?
Nothing.
That's what Weyerhaeuser is.
Nothing at all.
It's weird driving back.
And I've heard of people coming in wanting to do, what are they doing now? They're mining for, I don't know what it is. It's way over my head. It's
like Bitcoin?
something crazy. It's
digitally.
Yeah, they want to use the property for that, but nothing's there at all. Tore it down.
Ever think you work at the mill?
Did I ever think I would?
Yeah, after high school?
Oh, no. Mm-mm.
Because you always you knew you were going to do music.
Dude, I remember being on the playground as a kid in elementary school telling my buddies I'm moving to Nashville to be a country singer. Now, when you're that young, I didn't know what Nashville was. I knew it was a city and where you go to be a country music singer. But, I was trying to be my dad, In 4th grade, I wrote a book called My Future Life. And looking back now, it was stories that I've heard of my dad and whatnot that he would tell me about. But if you go open that book right now, I saw it the other day. My wife had it in our closet, and I ran into it. And I look at that book. I've pretty much done everything in that book.
That's fun.
And I was just always a believer of manifest it. Tell yourself you're going to do it. And I think you can do anything in life like that, Now, if I was a terrible singer, maybe not. But I don't know, man. I never told myself I was going to go to college or go work at the mill or do something like that. I was I'm going to go to Nashville. Now, whether it works out, we'll see. But
my grandma adopted me for a lot of my life. And so she kept this thing in kindergarten where it was what do you want to be? Classic, right? Kindergarten thing.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be be on the radio, be a stand-up comedian, and be on TV. And so it's wild that I'm 5.
Right.
And already wanted that. There was no one around me that did that. So it's where did that even come from? But, you talk about manifesting. I feel like I just subconsciously and even consciously committed to it at 5 years old. So it was I said it, I'm doing it. But it's crazy you have the same story. You knew it and you're looking at it now. Isn't it kind of weird that kid, even though your dad did it, even though it was in the blood, even though it was in the house, but still, from 4th grade you knew and here you are now.
Yeah, I mean, even before fourth grade, I knew. But I mean, I think about it all the time, and I don't believe in coincidences either, man. I think, and I try to tell people, it's like even young kids, I try to tell them, like, man, just whatever you want to be, you can do what you want to do. You got to work hard. It's not going to be given to you. You can do whatever you want to do. Just tell yourself you're going to do it, and don't listen to anybody else because they're the first people that'll talk you out of it or make some negative comment. I mean, I remember my buddies like, you ain't going to Nashville. Like, oh, you're not going to do this. You're not going to do that.
People that can't or are scared to do it are often the ones that tell other people they can't do it.
Yeah. And as soon as you tell yourself you're not going to do it, you're not going to do it.
I have a very similar feeling about life. I think the world is completely bendable.
Yep.
Weird to say and feel, but I think everything is negotiable. Everything.
Yep.
And like, you, me, we're from tiny towns.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody gets out of those towns to do it. Where I come from, nobody did. It was like Disneyland was like the stuff on TV. To move to Nashville, to want to do TV, again, that was Disneyland. That was like crazy big bunnies and like that wasn't real.
Yep.
And there wasn't anybody there to say you can't do it, but there definitely wasn't anybody to say you could because nobody did it there.
Yeah.
How influential was your dad on either way? On, I just want you to do what you want to do, or if you want to do music, like, let me guide you a little bit.
So, I mean, my dad took pride in the fact that I wanted to go do music, right? But my dad and my mom both were also the type, it didn't matter what I wanted to do. They were behind it. If I was to say I'm going to go to college, then okay, go to college. If I didn't want to go to college, which I didn't, they weren't the parents like, no, you need to do this, you need to do that, right? They pretty much let me decide what I wanted to do in life and never, I mean, the only thing my dad told me, like, and this is probably some of the best advice I ever got, I didn't realize it at the time, was it's not an overnight success. It can be for some people.
Well, it also looks like it for everybody whenever you're from far away.
Yeah.
It looks like everybody just got famous one day.
Yeah.
But as your dad knew, and as you know now, God dang, it is so the opposite. Even for people that have overnight success, it ain't overnight.
Yeah, no, it's not overnight. And I mean, sometimes I'm really bad about this. It's like I get so caught up in looking in the future. What's next? What am I going to do? How am I going to do this? How am I going to keep this thing going? That I forget to sit back and go, yeah, it took some time for me. I was 25, 26 before I had my first hit. And has it moved as quickly since then as I would want? No. But at the same time, I have to sit back and go, man, but look what everything that's happened. Look what's happened so far. Look where I'm at. I'm exactly where I wanted to be. Living in Nashville. I'm on a bus. We're playing music to a bunch of fans, sold out shows, and we've had number ones. And, you forget that kind of stuff sometimes.
It's a good perspective. I think myself included, and I bet if we got 10 creatives in whatever way at different levels of success, and we said, how do you feel about it? I just don't feel like I'm doing it fast enough. I don't feel like I don't. It drives me crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not where I want to be. I'm not moving at the rate I think I should be moving. Like there's places where progression has completely stalled.
I'm really bad about the stalling part. Like I feel like I'm just like sitting in limbo when really there's a lot going on, right? It's just I feel like I'm sitting in limbo. And what I used to be really bad about in my 20s, really all through life until my late 20s, early 30s when I figured it out, I used to sit back and look at everybody else and try to compare situations. Well, why is this happening for them? And why is this not happening? Blah, 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 blah. And I used to wear myself out over it, And then one day, I don't know if it's just getting older. I don't know if it's having 3 kids now that keep my mind somewhere else or my wife, but I don't feel that way anymore. It's just like, hey, I'm having fun. It is what it is. I don't care what anybody else is doing. I'm super happy for everybody. I just got to worry about what's going on in my life. And that's when I got really happy.
Did your dad keep playing music a little bit at home? Like, did he play for fun or?
Man, in church. Played in church. And
keep a guitar in the house?
Kept a guitar in the house. We'd play together. But Not a ton, man.
Did he teach you how to play?
Yeah, he taught me guitar. He taught me the chords I needed to learn. And after that, I mean, it was pretty much kind of on my own in a way. I mean, I'd be in my bedroom playing guitar, singing, and he'd walk in and open the door, and he'd look at me and go, "You're over singing," and just shut the door, walk back out, you know. But it's really it. I mean, most everything I've done is by ear. I learned piano when I was super young, tried to take lessons, and piano teacher calls my dad. She's like, I really can't teach him. Like, if I play anything, he'll just learn it by ear without reading it. It's like, I don't know what I can do here. So I've just kind of all picked it up on my own. I mean, my dad has taught me a lot, don't get me wrong, but
I picture you like screaming out of the womb like this.
I remember playing basketball like outside in the neighborhood as a kid, and buddies be like, "Man, your voice is deep."
Was it always deep?
I mean, I guess for a kid it was.
Yeah, I mean, if you're was there a like a puberty where it just kind of did that, or was it always just deep and it just got a little deeper?
I think it was just deep as a kid and got deeper. I mean, I remember going through obviously puberty, and he had the little but it wasn't nothing crazy. It wasn't like all of a sudden, whoa, what just happened? I don't remember that anyway.
I can't wait for my voice to get deeper. Like when puberty hits me, I'm gonna be so cool. I'm gonna have a good voice. Your kids, are they all boys or girls?
So 2 boys and a girl. So the oldest is 7, Beckett, he's a boy. And then it's my little girl, Finley, she's 5. And then we have a 1.5-year-old boy, Baron. So, and we're done.
Is there any connection to the names?
No, just whatever whatever my wife wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say whatever, not whatever. She threw some stuff out that I turned down really quick. But
so you had veto, but you let her choose.
For the most part, yeah.
And that lawnmower got me. She got you.
She got me.
She got you.
She better be glad she's pretty, man. That's all I can say.
Yeah, got you on the lawnmower. When did you sing in public? And not just in front of your parents, but when did you ever sing in front of people that didn't know you?
Yeah, I mean, I've sang in church my whole life. I was in a gospel trio with 2 other girls. We traveled around for a couple of years when I was a teenager, like 14, 15 years old.
What was the name?
It was called 11th Hour, which 11th Hour is still around. They're still doing their thing.
That's actually a pretty cool name. A lot of times when people go, I was in something at 15, it's kind of lame. That's a good name.
Yeah, 11th Hour, man. So we were, Southern gospel music, and they've had hits on Southern gospel radio and stuff, so it's really cool. But, I mean, I used to play little, I don't know what you call them. There's the thing called the Louisiana Hayride back where I'm from, which is kind of iconic. Elvis used to play it. A bunch of guys used to play it. But we'd play the little small-town theater shows with the house band. It's where I met Lainey Wilson. She's from the town over from and we were...
She from Baskin?
14, Baskin,
yeah.
We were 14, 15 years old and met her at one of those shows. I was about to walk on stage, had gum in my mouth. She puts her hand out. She goes, "Give me your gum." I said, "Are you serious?" She's like, "Give me your gum." So I put my gum in her hand and been buddies ever since. So we've been doing that a long time.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The 2 people from 2 small towns.
Yep, right there together, playing the same little shows.
And now here.
Yeah.
Playing basically same shows.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yep.
When you moved here, you say you were 19. I think you said you were 25, 26 before you had a hit. What were those years like? What were you doing 19 to 25, 26?
Just a lot of writing here in town, meeting a lot of songwriters, and then I hit the road. I bought a 1999 black Ford van from some bluegrass group in Kentucky, and they converted it to like had some little bunks in it. I thought I had it going on, but we hit the road playing shows for $500 a night and for nobody, around the whole country. We were driving this van.
Tell me about a small show. Like, what comes to mind? If I say, tell me about a small show.
6 people in Montana at a bar. That's a small show. And, I mean, you got to understand, we had no hits at the time, but we were putting music out. And I didn't know how I was going to do it. 6 people, full band show. That's tough.
Like, how do you maintain an appropriate energy?
Yeah.
For 6 people.
And I don't know. I mean, who I was back then to now is just night and day. a buddy of mine from that same band, from the very beginning, sent me a video the other day of us on stage. And I said, man, who is that kid? And why would anybody give him a record deal?
Why do you say that? What was different about that kid?
The body mannerisms of how I performed, the way I sung was totally different. Just everything. It was just like, if that kid would have, if I'm at a record label today and that kid, myself early on, walked into the room, I'd been like, I don't know. That's my opinion anyway.
But didn't that kid try and they said, I don't know, until you got better?
I mean, I got a record deal before I graduated high school.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Like what? How?
Started coming to town at 16.
What the crap? You got a record?
I had 2 offers. I had 2 record deal offers before I graduated high school, one from Curb Records and one from Warner Brothers.
Those are real labels.
Yeah.
That was going to be like from Whistling Dixie Record Company, like a guy that worked.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's like getting back to what we were talking about earlier, manifesting stuff and no coincidences and believing that. It's like, I don't know how. I just knew that that's what I was going to do. And
What'd they hear from you at 17? You'd obviously like had a CD or something, right?
Yeah. And I mean, I'm not saying I was terrible.
I don't take it as that.
You know, it's just the way I sung and the way I carried myself. I was just like, man, what do these people see? But I don't know, dude. I was doing like the really old school country stuff. Like I grew up a huge Keith Whitley fan. And obviously my dad with his past, like I grew up on the old stuff. And so when I moved to town, like I guess what I was trying to do was be something that I wasn't as far as the way I sung.
I was going to say, did you try to sing like Keith Whitley?
Yeah, 100%.
Pure. Whitley, pure.
Oh, yeah.
Not that you're not. It's a different, texturally, completely different.
Completely different. In my opinion, just one of the best voices there will ever be. But yeah, and I think I just had to find myself is all it was. And I think those little shows for 6 people in that van and going and doing it every weekend is what got me better. Being in the studio and singing made me find who I was as not only a person, but as a singer.
I did a show at the Ryman last night, and it doesn't matter who the artist is, but they're super successful now. But I think what you're saying lends to what I was explaining to some of my friends after the show, is that there are certain artists, they get famous so fast because of technology.
Right.
But they do not have the skills to actually sing because they haven't had to do it in tiny places, in small places. Learn how to do it sick. Learn how to do it 3 nights in a row. Learn how to do. And so they can have massive songs. They can have success in that way, but they haven't been given the time or the ability to actually learn how to, 1, do it, 2, find themselves.
Yeah.
And they are who they are, and there's almost nowhere for them to go. In a weird way, they're kind of trapped. It's a great place to be trapped at first, but they're kind of trapped, but they don't have that skill. And then at times, it can end up, because everybody records everything, it can end up on social media, and people are like, this person sucks. When really they don't suck. They just haven't learned how to sing. And I don't mean how to sing, but I mean how to sing as a career. Good days, bad days. When you're sad, how much can you drink before? Like all the stuff that you talk about that you did, like finding yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's so important for people to hear because you're in the middle of it. You're going, man, this kind of blows. I got 11 people here and all, and all I got's an apple, like the writer's an apple and an old warm Mad Dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I think it's so valuable for you.
And in finding myself, what I mean, for me anyway, it was actually literally finding myself because I was trying to be something I wasn't.
And again,
I was trying to be
part of it.
What my dad wanted me to be or what these labels thought they wanted me to be or whoever else was in my ear. It was like finding the true me.
But I think if you had like one American Idol, for example, and you didn't know who you were, as a vocalist, as what you wanted to say, you would have been Dylan who won American Idol, and that's what everybody would have known you for.
Yeah.
That's your stamp.
So getting back to what we was talking about a while ago, as far as it's taken me a long time to get to where I'm at, I'm grateful for that because I really think if I would have had success early on, I might not be around anymore, or I might be something that I'm not today, right? My wife said the other day, was talking about something or whatnot, and maybe the same conversation. She's like, it's just all in God's plan. You know, just do you. Whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. You know, so just keep pushing along, doing your thing, and it'll happen when it's supposed to happen. And that's the same way with my music career. Is like, it happened when it was supposed to happen and how it was supposed to happen.
What label did you sign with at 17?
Curb Records.
Same, you're still on the same label?
Yeah. Been there almost 15 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's an anomaly.
Yeah, and I mean...
Not the 15 years, the fact that it took you however many years, 17 to, how old were you when you had a hit?
30, when I had a hit?
Yeah.
Oh, I was like 26 maybe.
9 years at a label.
Yeah.
No commercial success. I'm sure they saw a lot in you, but to have you for 9 years and you're still there, 9 years of, we'll call it nothing. It's not nothing, but it's growing. And they kept you?
Yeah.
Not common.
Yeah, and then that's why I'm grateful for all that. You know, I look back and, you know, record labels are record labels. You know, everybody can say anything they want about them, and it's with any business too. There's always good and there's always bad. But in my situation, it's like, man, I don't really have anything bad to say. They've stuck with me from the time I was a kid trying to find itself, and you know, it was a tough road too, because like when I signed with Curb Records, they opened up a subsidiary label called Sidewalk Records. And I was nobody at the time. They still had Tim McGraw, guys like that. And so they were putting all of their, I would call them C acts and maybe B acts over on Sidewalk just to spread it out a little bit. So I got moved over. And it was tough. I hit Radio Tour with nobody explaining to me what Radio Tour was. And so I walk into the first station I went to not knowing what I was supposed to do. There was, you know, it's just so much stuff to it back then. I look back now and go, man, if I just had somebody to tell me, hey, you need to do, here's what we're going to do, you know, maybe learn how to do this or do that. And so I was like this shy kid and I really wasn't shy, but I came across that way because I had no idea what was going on, you know? And so we had failed singles and this and that. And honestly, what really got me back over to the Curb side where I needed to be was just YouTube, social media. We weren't really releasing music. And so I told myself, I'm not going to sit here and wait for somebody to make my career for me. It's like, I'm going to do it myself. And so I started writing songs and making little homemade videos with buddies and throwing them on YouTube, and it started gaining success. And that led to other things. And they're like, oh, we need to do something. So got back over on Curb, and that's
kind of forced their hand a little bit.
I had to.
Yeah.
Not that they didn't believe. It's just they had other things to go, and they had bigger fish to fry.
Well, they had money that they had to cover their own butts and make money so they didn't lose their job.
Yeah.
And with an unproven entity, if they continue to invest in it and it doesn't make money back, they lose their job.
Yeah.
Like, I understand the logic and why they wouldn't. I'm surprised, and not because it's you, that after failed singles, they were like, we still believe in you. Let's keep going. Even if it's moved you to Sidewalk. Who was it? Who do you look at that time that was like the one that believed in you?
Jeff Turf is a guy over there who from day one has just always been there for me. He's on the marketing side of things, creative side of things. But I don't, it's a hard question because I don't know if there's anybody that just didn't believe in me.
But somebody had to be like, that's our dude.
Yeah.
And maybe you don't know who they are or were.
I mean, I really don't know how that all happened collectively. You know, I don't know what really went on there, but I did once I got back to Curb. So I had probably two failed singles at Sidewalk.
What were they?
My first single was a song called Making This Boy Go Crazy. And when I say failed single, like it didn't
Like
obviously
32, 27, something.
Oh,
like that.
no. It didn't make top 40.
Oh.
You know, but it streamed well. And then we put out another song. I think it was a song called Lay It On Me. It didn't really do much, streamed decently. And it was at that point they were like, man, these streaming numbers look pretty decent for a nobody. And so that's when they moved me back over to Curb, and we put out a song called Crazy Over Me, which did go to like 32, 31. And then it was the next single, which was My Girl, was my first number one.
Crazy Over Me, is that what you said?
Crazy Over Me.
When that goes to 31 or 32 after your move back to the big label, is that a success to you, or because it wasn't a top 10 and you just got put back on, we'll call it the big leagues, or did it feel like, oh man, failed again?
Yeah, failed again. It wasn't a success.
Even though it was your highest?
I mean, in my eyes, not failing is number one, you know? I mean, not number two, not number three. I want to have the number one song. That's what we're here for. Have a number one song. And so when we went to 32, 31, something like that, I mean, I was fired up, right? And was top 40 single. This is cool. We're getting played on quite a few stations. And I remember them calling me and just like, yeah, we lost it. I mean, that was devastating.
Yeah.
Because it's like, man, am I ever going to have a number one at that point? And then once you do have a number one, you're still like, golly, am I going to be a one-hit wonder?
Dude, it never ends.
Never ends.
That's so funny you said that. I have a very close friend who had a number one hit this last year, and he spent forever trying to just get on the chart.
Yeah.
Gets a number one.
But then he had another one.
And, yeah, but then he's like, what am I going to do? I'm like, what do you mean, what are you going to do? I'm going to be a failure if I don't. I'm like, dude, 4 months ago, you were begging for a top 10 just so you'd have another shot to have a song.
Yeah.
But I do that too, right? It's like we got it, and then we start hyper-focusing in an unhealthy way.
Very unhealthy. But you got to be that way.
Well, yes.
Not unhealthy, but you got to have that drive.
Drive is different than an unhealthy expectation. I'm full of unhealthy expectations, and I also have drive. I try to balance them. Most of mine is very unhealthy.
Yeah.
I'm mentally very unhealthy. You get no more mentally unhealthy than me.
Yeah.
I'm so competitive. I want to kill everybody and everything all the time. So we're talking out of the same mouth here.
Yeah.
But when it's somebody else, you have a bit more perspective, which is what's odd. And I have a couple friends that will lend me perspective in the same situation. And they're like, you're out of your mind. Here's why. And with my friend, I'm like, you're out of your mind. Here's why. Before you start to not sleep at night because you're worried about being a one-hit wonder, how about when you didn't sleep worrying if you're ever going to get a hit or be able to keep doing music full-time to pay the bills?
Yeah. Well, that's where I was, and I'm sure that's where he was as well.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, after my girl, I had just had my first son. So I got my wife, I've got a kid. I mean, I'm starting my life, really, and I have a number one song. The money's going up a little bit. The shows are good.
Guarantees are getting bigger on the show.
Yeah, like everything's great. Like, I'm supporting my family doing music now. I don't want to lose that, you know? It's like, that's why you don't want to be a one-hit wonder, and you start stressing about it. Like, okay, I got to keep this going because this is how I pay the bills.
Hey, how fast did my girl move? Like,
oh, none of my stuff moves quick.
See, so just revisionist
50-something weeks.
Okay, that's crazy. Revisionist history in my head is like, that was a quick one. Because now it's still what they would call like a recurrent. Like, it still gets played because
it's still one of our biggest songs, which is crazy to me.
So in my mind, I didn't live in the forest, which you did. In my mind, I was like, yeah, dude, Dylan put that song out. Freaking 20 weeks later, number one, went on to the next one. That ain't what happened.
No. Every one of my singles they're slow. But here's what happens with my stuff. And it's every single one of them. It takes forever to get to the 20s, top 30, forever. But once it gets to top 30 in the 20s, super quick.
There's a real marsh about 45 to 30. It's hard to fight through that marsh.
Tough. Yes.
Because there's a lot of songs, from a lot of artists that are just trying to, like you say, break into that. Because then you get what they would call research. And I'm not a music director. I'm not a music guy. Every once in a while I play something I like. But I got out of that world and I just do content at this point. But when I was in that space, like if you could get to where you're talking about, I'm glad you said that, because then they would have research.
Yeah.
And then once you got some good research, they freaking shoot you like a rocket ship.
Yep.
It was just so hard to get from that 45 to 28 area.
Yep.
When you hit top 25, did it feel like the horse was moving a little bit?
Oh, it was flying. Yeah. Every time.
Like every week it was like bullet moving.
Yeah. every time. And it's just blowing up, and they're coming back like, oh, research is showing #1 song on our market or top 5 or whatever. Like, yeah, but I mean, knock on wood. I mean, hopefully we're fixing to have our 6th #1. And I mean, it's been the same way, and nothing's changed. And at this point, I understand the business a lot better. And I don't stress about that anymore either. Like, it just is what it is. Like, we're having fun. Everything else is good. And you've got other avenues now too. It's radio, and it's streaming, and it's out playing your shows and building a fan base. Like, everything's good. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to have a single that moved 25
Yeah, you're way
weeks,
healthier than I. You're way healthier than I am.
Yeah.
I can just hear you talk, and I wish I had a little bit of that. Like, because here's why I'd be frustrated. I don't want to trigger you. Here's why I'd be frustrated. And I feel like there are 2 artists that suffer, and I'm going to go ahead and spoil it. You're one of them, that suffer from not getting the benefit of having big success. Because other people have 2 or 3 songs, and all of a sudden it's like, we'll get them to DeMarsh pretty quick. We'll get the research a lot quicker because we just know that. So there have been artists with less that have been given bigger benefits. And the 2 artists that I go, they make hits. It's crazy they don't get that is you, for sure. Because again, you're about to do 6. After 3, they got to be like, why don't we just, look at the past? And Dylan's been able to crush it. And then let's listen to the song. Does it suck? No. Okay. And he's able to crush it. And all the other things have researched well. So I get frustrated, not for you personally, because it's not like you and I hang out. So I don't, like, as friends, no, but as somebody who is a creative himself, I get frustrated for you in that way. And there's one other person. Can you name the other person? Not person, a group.
A group?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Parmalee.
Yeah, they have hits.
And nobody goes, they've done it 4 or 5 times. Yeah, they should be able to get that benefit of the doubt to at least get up into like the 20s without having some massive research, because everything else has research. It's like your crap. You're healthy. Good for you. I'd be going freaking crazy.
Well, I mean, I still do.
I want to trigger you. I don't want to trigger you. I don't want to trigger you.
You're not triggering it. Look, I guess I've just, like I said earlier, having kids now. Maybe it's just getting older. It's other things going on in my life as well. I mean, we can get to this, but I mean, I've got a trash business in Louisiana that I deal with every day with a buddy of mine, my business partner. It's like, I just have other things in life I worry about. But I reached a point of life where there's a lot of things that's just out of my control. Like, I can't control that. I can be the nicest dude. I can be the most outgoing person. There's so much I could do that still, it's not going to matter. I can't control how quick something moves or, whatever. The only thing I can control is writing the music, putting out the best music I can, my social media, showing my life and gaining fans and playing shows and playing the best show I can. That's all I really can do. I can't make a single move faster.
Well, I get a little pissed for you if you want to know.
Well,
truth.
I appreciate that.
And mostly, and I say this in the most complimentary way, it's not even about you. It's about you and what this data has shown. Because it's always like data.
Well, numbers don't lie.
Sure. Then since they don't lie, then why don't we use those numbers? And there's a couple people that aren't getting the benefit of the numbers.
Yeah.
And to me, you're one of those who, if we're going to use data, if we're going to say A, B, and C get it because of this, well, here's D who's done more than that, has better data, and you guys are just like holding them back, waiting again. Anyway, no, we're moving off because I get.
But it's more to it than even.
I hear you.
Even the radio.
I need trash
game,
business.
Man.
I need trash business.
Yeah.
I'm not even talking about radio. All of it.
Playing
award shows.
Award shows, man.
Dude, that's right where my freaking head is.
Playing them, being a presenter.
I know you're gonna get back. I don't want to put. I don't want to
walk nominated.
No, I know. That's how.
Once again, it's like, do I still get aggravated about that stuff? No doubt. You think I want to sit at home on the couch with? I mean, because I do this. My little boy right here watching the award show and not being there. Like, no, I want to be there. But I promise you, I'm not fixing to go just walk a red carpet because I want people to go, look at me. Like, that's not who I am. So I just don't go.
Dude, same. Now, no offense to the color red or carpets. Love them both.
Yeah.
I don't do them anymore. I want to host. I have every credential to host these shows. Meaning, I just had a comedy special on CMT. I've been touring stand-up. I have massive platform. I have had 4 TV shows. Like everything about it, right, has been. There is no way that I shouldn't have hosted one of these award shows.
Agreed.
I won't say which one. One, I tend to get triggered quickly, which you don't. I need a trash business. I got a call a couple years ago, like, hey, we want you to host a so big one. And I'm like, finally. Like, there's nothing more that I could do data-wise. And I've trained in every way. Like, on the road doing stand-up all the time. Doesn't matter. I even wrote jokes for one of the award shows. No credit. Wrote jokes. I swear to God, they stole them and used them and never credited me. But I was like, so anyway, they call and they go, hey, we want you to host the show. And I'm like, finally, let's go. And like 3 days before they were announcing it, they call and go, hey, we've had some, we'll call them political issues. We can't let you host it. Devastated. And from then I'm like, I'm not going. I'm not presenting anymore. I'm not doing red carpets because I don't want to do that. I want to do that.
Yeah.
And I try to not get angry.
Yeah.
But I don't have a son to put on my lap. So I put my bulldog on my lap. He don't care. He doesn't know what a award show is. So he doesn't.
It's worse putting your son on your lap.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he doesn't know what a TV is. He just thinks a box of color.
Because as an artist, man, it's like you see all these other, once again, you get back to looking at other people, which I don't really get into that anymore, but you do a little bit and you see it and it's like, man, why can't I walk out on the stage and go, and the winner is, or whatever, just something.
It's funny. We said award shows at the same time because I think about that with you.
Yeah.
That's how you know I'm not lying, because right when you said that, I was also talking about award shows for you, because I'm like, how do you not play award shows?
Yeah. But, it all boils down to a lot of things. Just the way.
It's political, sure.
Yeah. I mean,
it's political.
Could it be, well, I'm not going to get into that.
I don't want you to. I'm moving on. We got to do something happy.
It's all good.
Like I do. What's your favorite candy?
Laffy Taffy.
There you go. New truck, different kind of energy to the song. A lot of your stuff is super personal. It feels like that way to me. Maybe I just see your social media too, and that's very personal. So a lot of what you do feels personal. New truck feels, I don't know, like up, fun. Not that it's not personal, but I feel like it doesn't try to be as personal on purpose. Is that true or no?
New truck was, I guess, the point of me going, man, I got a lot of love songs here, and they work. The love songs work for me just because of my life and how I live it and what I do show on social media. And I was like, I don't want to back myself into the love song corner where I'm just out playing a bunch of love songs. So I had to do something different, which New Truck. That's when I kind of shifted that corner a little bit. It just felt good. It was up-tempo breakup song. It was kind of cool. And so since New Truck, I mean, we did have Can't Have Mine. But even like This Town's Been Too Good to Us, our single now, it's,
that song's crushing too.
Yeah, I mean, it's doing well,
How do we strategize this? I want you to present on an award show. I want you to play on an award show. But okay, if you want to crawl before you walk, fine. What do we do? Not even about me, about you. What do we do? Who's your agent? Like, don't say a person. Who's your company?
As far as my booking, management.
Sure. No, not I'm agent first. Like agent? I'm a UTA.
William Morris.
Okay. Who's your management?
KPE.
Oh yeah, she'll cut somebody's throat.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah, I need to call Carrie and be like, what do you want? How do you want me to plaster this? Because I'll get annoyed with something and I will just beat it to oblivion where people want to kill me, and then I know I've done it right.
Yeah.
Like even just hanging out with you, I'm re-annoyed for you.
You don't have to be re-annoyed.
No, I know I don't have to be, but I think I am because because I'm so selfish. I see me in you and you and me, and that we're both like, what the crap, man? We've done everything freaking possible, and but like,
I'm kind of just used to it. I'm working on it.
After today, I'm working on it.
You hear of people going, oh, we're bitter or we're jaded to the business. Hey, I'm not bitter or jaded to the business.
I'm not bitter either.
One bit. Like, I love everything about everybody, what's going on. This is great, but I don't know, man. I just, once again, got to the point where it's like,
I'm texting Carrie.
I don't need an award. I don't need a trophy. I mean, dude, we are selling shows out across this country, every night. tons of fans showing up. People know the music. Everything's going well. You know, it's just we know how the business works sometimes. And we know by winning an award is a good look and it can move the needle on things. But it ain't. I guess what I'm trying to say, I've never had the industry just go, hey, let's go do this. You know, like I'm not on all the big, what do you call it? Like social media platforms. They're not talking about me. They're not doing this. They're not doing that.
But you also have a big social media following. So it's like you've built a base, a massive base. It's a dichotomy for sure. Because you're like, I don't have her being like, he's the coolest, he's the trendiest.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes,
you have a massive following that you have built your own.
Sometimes I just wonder if my life's just not as interesting as others, you know? Like, I'm not the guy that's out, man, I'm not out there partying, making a scene.
I think that question is wrong. I think it's not, am I not as interesting? Because I think you are very interesting because, again, just look at data, look at your numbers, look at your follow, look at your why, look at what you guys do, right? You're consistently interesting to a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think some of that quick flash that doesn't last, that's not there, but that's not what you're trying to do. But
right.
You can't say I'm not interesting because, dude, people talk more about what you're doing on social media because that stuff always changes. Like a song exists like you said, it took a year for a song to be number one.
Yeah.
Like people talk about your social media. I hear people just talking about it randomly. So, wrong question to ask.
Yeah, I don't know what the question is. Like, I don't know what it is. But
yeah, I just text your manager and I'm like, tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. Because that's
well, I've asked her the same thing.
No, yeah, but when I ask her, I mean business.
Yeah.
She knows I mean business.
Yeah. I just wonder sometimes. It's like, man, like our stream, like my next single I'm putting out at radio.
Do you know it yet? Can you say it?
It's called What'll Never Have.
Okay.
I mean, it's got over 200 million streams
already.
It's not even. It's a year this month. It's been out. I mean, it's 150 of those million on just Spotify.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, man. Sometimes I go, dude, if we had some of the industry push, like the award shows, and we was in that light a little bit, or on these platforms on social media, I wonder what it'd be then. You know, because there's a huge fan base we haven't tapped into yet. I've been on one major tour the whole time I've been in town.
Which one was that?
Luke Bryan.
And you know what is awesome, but also sucks about that? Awesome because I love Luke. Luke and I are friends. We worked together for 4 years outside of this place. Worked on Idol for 4 years. It's how I know Carrie. So Carrie once got in a fight for me against a big Hollywood person once, and it was the most legit thing I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
Where I was like, she'll take a box cutter to some, and Carrie is not my manager.
Yeah.
But I love Carrie, and she has, like, I could tell you off air, she went hard at somebody for me. What's awesome is Luke's awesome, but what is I hate doing this. I know I'm triggering you, but I'm mad for you. But Carrie's your manager, and she has the ability to go. So,
yeah.
What's your favorite cereal?
I had Frosted Flakes this morning.
Yeah.
Probably Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
But
though.
let's do something. I don't want to be frustrated for you anymore. Okay, so this town's been
too good to us.
Yeah, too good to us. I was doing the countdown this morning, and it's top 5.
5, I believe. Yeah.
Has that one feels like it's moved a little faster, or is it that one was moving with the other one with you and the other Dylan, and it just feels like like ubiquitous Dylan. Is that? Do you think that's what that one is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
'Cause this one feels like you've been around more, but it's because you had 2 at once.
Yeah. That's all it is. It's still just as long. Yeah.
How did you guys do? What was up with that song?
Boys Back Home.
Yeah,
with Dylan?
you and Dylan.
I took Dylan out on his first tour a couple of years ago, and we just hit it off. He's a good one. He's just a good old boy, and he's a good performer, and he's a good singer. And he was playing me that song, played me Boys Back Home, and I just told him, I said, man, and he played me like 5 or 6, and Boys wasn't like the one he was fired up about. It was another one. It was like a slower song, and it was great. But in my mind, I was like, the wheels are already turning. Like, I never had anybody go, hey, dude, come on, let's do something together. Let's do a song. Let's blah, 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 blah. And I told myself early on, I was like, if I believe in somebody and I like somebody, I'm going to help them. Whether they've had a single, whether they're on a record label, I don't care. Like, if I can help somebody, like, I'm all for it.
Do you think a part of that is, one, I think you're a solid dude, but two, because it'd have been nice if somebody would have jumped in with you like that?
Yeah, I mean, it'd have been cool,
Yeah.
you know? A young kid in town, like, I go back to that kid, and I'm like, man, that would have been so cool. And it's nobody's fault. It's just the way it played out. But I just told myself, like, man, I want to be that guy if I can, you know, like be a bigger brother to somebody. And he played me Boys Back Home, and it was up tempo, and I just loved how it felt, and it felt like a great collab. And I went in and put my vocal on it the next week. He didn't have a record deal, and I remember taking
really?
it. Yeah, I remember taking it to Curb, and I said, hey, listen to this. Like, we need to put this out. And they were like, and they were playing the whole game of like, guys, you don't have a record deal, blah, blah. Well, as soon as he gets a record deal, I took it back to him, and they were on board to do it and whatnot. But yeah, man, I'm just glad it worked out the way it did.
Let me use another piece of data here. As far as like getting radio play, there were only 3 artists that had more than you over the last year. It was Jelly Roll, Morgan Wallen. Don't tell me the other one. Post Malone. That's it. And you, 4th.
I've been hearing some stats like this. I don't keep up with the stat stuff, but I've been hearing a couple of stats here lately, and I'm just like, that's kind of interesting, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like at times, like my podcast numbers are monster, right? Well, I mean, not right as in you know, but like they're monster. And I feel at times, and I'll put it on me, that maybe I don't educate people enough to know the capabilities that I have and the platform that I've created, and I will put some of it on me as well. Meaning, everyone's like, we need to find this podcast. And it's like, your radio show is big. And I'm like, you have no idea. You should look at the podcast numbers. And so a bit, I do put it on me too, where it's like, I think I could educate people. It's tough though to educate and not sound freaking cocky as crap.
Sure.
There's a difference in confidence and arrogance, and I bounce back and forth. There's no real way to walk that. And that, it's a tough thing to do. But if you were to, you can't really wear a shirt that says that.
I thought about it.
Yeah, only 3 people are beating me, and it's Post Malone, Jelly. But yeah, that's the trick. Like, how do you educate folks so they understand exactly what they're not seeing?
Yeah, like you said, I don't know how I do it, you know, without being cocky.
And that's my
and luckily,
struggle too.
you know, I have a
burner
great
accounts.
Yeah. I have a great team around me as far as label and management and my agents. Like, it's kind of their job and their lane to go make that happen. You know, I don't even know who would I even talk to. Hey man, I was the 4th, blah, 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 blah. Without, like you said, sounding cocky.
I just started it.
Yeah.
I did a little bit right there.
Yeah.
This podcast is a rather large podcast. And I know there are a lot of industry people that listen to this podcast. Would just like to say, it's like a political ad. The guy's killing it. It's not even that I need to convince you he's good to be like, trust me. If you don't have to dig. If you just go to his page, just go to one of the streaming sites page. Go to Spotify and just look at the numbers beside him. Look at the number of hits that are radio hits. Look at his social media. The fact that he's not even presenting on an award show. You guys, you're messing up. So I'm encouraging you, vote. Vote for Dylan Scott.
And this ad is brought to you by Box Water is Better.
Well, I wish I had a deal with them. That would be nice.
Oh.
I have a deal with the environment, though. That's why we use those.
There you go.
They don't pay me, though. And I'll never actually see it. I'll be dead before it actually pays off.
Yeah.
That's showbiz, though.
Part of it.
Yeah. Man, good job. Hang in there. I'm talking to me and you at the same time. Mostly I'm talking to me, but you're here too. Like, good job, man. Hang in there.
Yeah.
You can do it. You're killing it. You're killing it.
Oh, it's all good on this end, man.
And everybody at home's good? Family's good?
Family's great. Kids, great. Beckett, starting baseball, practicing right now. He's killing it. I didn't play baseball growing up. I wish I did. My dad was the type. He was like, you sure you want to waste your whole summer? In other words, I really don't want you to play. I played basketball. So I'm loving the baseball phase with Beckett. He's really good. I'm not saying it because he's my kid. Like, he's really gravitating towards it, and it's fun.
You put little weights in their hands?
No. What does that do?
I don't know. You're jacked.
Oh, no. I haven't worked out since July. I haven't lifted a weight since July.
If this is residual, count me in. I'd like some.
I lost like 10 pounds.
Why? Did you get sick?
No. I've worked out my whole life almost, like, so like 18, almost every day, religiously. I did the deal. And I just kind of got burnt out. And so it was a busy summer. We was on the road a lot. I wake up after a couple hours, eat, I'll go to a gym somewhere randomly. And I just had a lot going on. Stressed. Not stressed about like I'm stressed out because something happened. Just a lot going on. Your body's stressed. And I was like, I need to take a break. And I wanted to take a break just to see what my body would do because I'm 34 now. Like, my metabolism's slowing down. Am I going to get fat? Like, what's going to happen? And it's been great, honestly.
Yeah, not too worried bragging about that, are you?
Yeah, I mean, my metabolism's still good.
Yeah, I'm like,
we're rocking and rolling.
Yeah, I went and got a full physical, like all the panels, all the blood, all the.
I had that done last week.
Did you? Did you get your results back?
I did.
I got the metabolic age of a 28-year-old.
Come on now. They didn't tell me all that.
Yeah, because you don't. That's why.
They said everything is excellent. I said, okay. They said, but your cholesterol. And I'm like, uh-oh.
I got a little cholesterol too, but you know what I didn't do? I didn't know not to eat before I did it.
My cholesterol's low.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not high. It's low. They told me to eat.
What does that mean? Well, how does it get too low?
They said eat more red meat and more fat. They said eat worse. Eat more. Eat worse.
I need your doctor.
He's a good one.
I need your doctor.
He ain't just your doctor down the road that's just like, okay, yeah. He's out of Dallas.
Do you have a concierge? Oh, okay. So you have a concierge doctor?
I don't even know what that is.
Dude, I didn't either until
they come to you?
So I'll be traveling so much, right? And go to the office, you wait, and whatever.
Yeah.
And so my friend Brett was, he's an traveling artist. He's like, you should get a concierge doctor. One, you can call him anytime. You're on the road, you're sick, God forbid I have to take a steroid shot if my voice is gone, but sometimes you have to.
Yeah.
He's like, they got you. And then, call anytime. They come to you. And, it's a little expensive, but like for jobs, a job like I have.
For convenience, yeah.
It pays for itself.
Yeah.
And maybe he just told me I was 28 because I pay extra. I didn't think about that till right now. But my cholesterol was high, and just a little bit. And I was like, why do you think that is? He said, before you came in to do your work, like when was the last time you ate? I was like, I don't know, an hour before. I'd take some eggs. He goes, you got to fast for 12 hours. Yeah. He goes, you were eating chocolate before we started. I was like, that's a good point. That's a good point. And so I think mine could be normal.
Probably is.
But it definitely ain't low. Dude, it's been so good to talk with you.
Yeah, same here. Thanks for having me.
Just a couple things. I know we mentioned some of this early on. So the Country Till I Die tour, it's a lot of shows. Just through April and May. Oh, George is out with you.
Yeah. George is direct support.
He got good.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Because he was always good, and I take him out and he'd open shows, and George is good, but like he had, and you know this, you know how it works. Once you get some confidence, it opens new doors to you.
100%.
He's like freaking good now.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Like I pound him in pickleball, and then I watch him play, and I'm like, dude, you got a couple hit confidence there.
He's been doing it a long time though.
He has been doing it a long time.
What was the group before?
What was his deal?
Waterloo
Revival.
And so what's wild about this, I knew George, I forget the other guy's name. I knew them back in those days. We was doing radio tour stuff together. And then I didn't see George for a while. And then I ran into him, and I almost didn't recognize him without the group, And when it clicked finally, I was like, this is really cool. That he's doing what he's doing, and it's working. And
he quit.
Is that what happened?
Well, he was just writing. He was like, I'm just going to write. And then he put a song. Clay Walker was like, hey, you should put that song on TikTok. And he's like, I don't want to be a TikTok guy. Which is what everybody says before they realize if you do it right, it's not corny.
Yeah.
There's a difference. There's corny.
There's corny.
And then
and you got to be corny sometimes.
But there's also not corny.
Yeah.
And so he put it up, started to get a little heat. Next thing you know, he's like, I guess I'll try it. And it's been awesome.
And there's a fine line of being an influencer as well.
Why you trying to sell me tummy tea right now or what?
No.
Use my promo code.
Best, yeah.
I think Amy called me an influencer. I'm like, I'm not an influencer, man. Like, we ain't got to. I walked out of a Slim Chickens the other day, and this girl was walking in, and she goes, "You're that TikTok guy." I said, "No, I'm not." And I just kept walking. Never told her anything else, never spoke another word. I was like, "No, I'm not." And
I'm on TikTok,
walking.
but I'm not the TikTok guy.
Yeah, it's a fine line. But.
DylanScottCountry.com had April through, mid-May doing a bunch of fairs and festivals. And yeah, man, congrats on another song that's about to be a number one. I looked at some research. Yeah, I'm sure you've seen it. It's there. You guys are probably plotting it out at this point, right?
It's pretty planned. We're just in line at this
You're
point.
just plotting. Yeah, you're just
We're in
plotting
line.
it. Yeah,
Yep.
That's awesome. When this comes out, I Hate Whiskey will be out.
Yes, it comes out the end of March.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you doing with that? Is it existing?
Yeah, I mean, I Hate Whiskey was, dude, it's one of those songs I've had for a while, and it's such a great song. Like, I wanted to be the single, but then again, What'll Never Have. I didn't write I Hate Whiskey. I did write What'll Never Have, and I was like, I don't know about What'll Never Have because it's been out for a year, but just can't really deny the numbers on it. But that's a fine line, man. You take somebody's song that you didn't write, and it's not a radio single. It's just a DSP, just a streaming release. And, there's not a lot of money being made there, but it could also really help me as an artist, but it doesn't make the writers any money. It's like, that's a super, I don't know, man. That's a topic on my mind every day as far as when I'm looking at music, because
You're a caring person.
Well, man, it's such a great song. It deserves to be a single. It deserves to make these writers money. And, if it goes and does 150 million streams, 200 million streams, whatever, it does not add up to what it is a single, and you just kind of feel bad about it. But yeah.
You hit one. This one hits in 3.5 years when your next one comes out.
Well, that's another thing. It still could be a single. You never know.
All right. At Dylan Scott Country. Dylan, good to talk to you, buddy.
You too.